Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Tesla stock and also breaking down the portfolio as always with another transparency update. So if you're new here, that just includes me talking about the portfolio, showing my gains and losses for today, and then of course discussing a few key topics as well. And that almost always involves Tesla stock because it does take up about 86% of my portfolio. So as you can see from today, my portfolio is at $147,130.41. And in the normal market hours, we actually took a pretty big hit at minus 5.29%. That's minus $8,347.97. And in the after hours, we also have another pretty big loss as well, considering that after hours doesn't really have a lot of large movements sometimes. So we're at minus 1.46% for that, and that is minus $2,187.12. So at this point in time, including both after hours and the normal market hours, we are at over $10,000 in losses for today. And a lot of that is due to Tesla stock. But in this video, I will be saying some things that some people may be surprised with. But if you're already familiar with my mindset and my channel, then it will be no surprise to you. But anyways, as always, if y'all do enjoy these videos talking about Tesla stock, showing some transparency with a portfolio and things along those lines, then please make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out. But just discussing Tesla stock for today, as you can see, including the after hours and the normal market hours, Tesla stock is basically crashed at minus 7.80%. And if we really want to talk about a crash, just take a look at 11:40 a.m. at minus 14.15%. So you could just call what we saw here minus 7.80%. You could just call that a dip. But at this point at 11:40, that's way more than just a dip. That's minus 14%. So we're talking about a huge drop in the share price, minus $67. If you want to see how much that would be off of the share price pre-split, all you have to do is multiply 407 by 5 and then multiply 67 by 5 and then just subtract that loss from what you get there. So that's actually a pretty huge drop on the share price for today, and definitely congrats to those that actually were able to pick up some Tesla stock at that price tag right there. Honestly, with my opinion on everything today, I don't have a problem with what we're seeing right now. Like I said in yesterday's video, this is clearing out the weaker investors, and the people that are buying right now are likely investors that will be holding for the long term, meaning we're having a transfer of shares from people that are likely not going to hold Tesla very long. If they sold today, then they probably weren't in it for the long term. However, you do have some people that are, of course, selling their Tesla stock for like big life events, such as like buying a Tesla or buying a house. But a lot of these people today that sold are likely just investors that panic sold. They probably rode up the growth wave over these past couple of days, and they just realized they couldn't stomach the losses in the meantime. So like I said, we are seeing a transfer of Tesla shares from the investors that likely weren't going to hold it for the long term to investors that are likely going to hold it for the long term, which is always a good thing because that likely means less shares will be available in the future, as we have a lot of these long-term investors starting to stack even more Tesla shares in their pile that will likely not be sold for a very long time in the future. So this is a good thing, and I like to preach this on my channel. And of course, anything that I say in this video is not to be considered financial advice. This is just my personal opinions and perspectives, but I honestly love a day like today. Like, if it's going to happen, I just have to accept it and realize we are getting a big, deep discount on Tesla stock, and I'll be going into a little bit more depth discussing that in another video. But basically, when I see a day like today, obviously, it's a red day, so it's not the greatest thing ever, but when you really think about it, it's an opportunity presenting itself for those that have cash on the sidelines or for those that want to come up with some cash really fast to try to purchase some Tesla stock because it's much cheaper than it was just a few days ago. So this is definitely an opportunity in my opinion, and especially at like this minus 14% spot, I definitely wish I had some cash at that time period to just absolutely load the boat on Tesla shares, because even yesterday with the drop day around like minus 4%, I still thought that was a pretty solid price to buy in. And especially with today as well, I've actually just been trying to find some things that I have that I could sell, because I do have some things that I've impulse bought over time that I realized, especially as I started to get more and more into investing, that I don't necessarily need those things. And honestly, investing has actually really helped me with avoiding impulse buying and avoiding buying things, because I know my money is just better put into stocks where I can grow it tremendously, where if I want those things in the future, I'll have enough to buy like 2 to 3 of them, and possibly even more than that depending on how long I hold the shares. So investing has actually really helped me with my spending habits. And then like I said, right now, seeing this price today, I've especially been just looking at some things that I have that I could honestly sell and put into Tesla stock. So don't be surprised if you see me buying some Tesla stock soon, because I am working on that right now, trying to figure out some ways I can get some money to buy Tesla. And then also I have my paycheck coming up this month as well, which I'll likely be using as much of that as I can on Tesla stock. But the only sad thing about that is that I'll likely get my paycheck around the time of Battery Day. If there's a huge run up prior to Battery Day, and then if also S&P 500 inclusion somehow happens before Battery Day, it's just a little bit unfortunate on the timing that I won't be able to buy Tesla stock until around all of that hype is at its peak, it seems like. But as you all know, I'm mostly a dollar cost average person anyways. But like I said, when I look at a day like today, I actually start to get really excited, because if you can just get past the fact that it's a red day and just accept that and embrace the mindset of opportunities on red days, then I think it's really helpful as an investor. Honestly, the worst type of Tesla day, in my opinion, that you could get is like the -1% or -2%, where nothing really significant happens and it's a red day, but it's not enough of a discount to really be significant. So I get actually pretty excited when I see days like today for Tesla, because it's actually a significant discount compared to like a red day at -1%, -2%. That doesn't really do much in terms of a discount for the share price. So I honestly get more excited about days like today than I do for like -2%, -1% days for Tesla. So like I said, embracing that mindset is really key in my opinion. If you can just look at your portfolio or a stock that you own, and if you have faith in it for the long term that it will grow tremendously, if you can just look at the days like today where it's red and pretty far into the red and not be emotional about that and simply accept that fact and realize that if you had cash on the sidelines, it would be a pretty solid opportunity to get in. If you can look at those days as opportunities, it's really helpful in my opinion. And also, like I said, I like to avoid emotions when it comes to the stock market, and when you can master that, it's really beneficial. I don't stress out about the day-to-day movements. Of course, I get really excited when Tesla absolutely surges, but when I see days like today, it just doesn't bother me. And I'm glad that I've been able to master that mindset, because I think it's game changing for the stock market and your positions when you're able to just not stress about things. And sometimes it is easier said than done. Maybe it's just part of my personality somehow, where I'm able to just separate my emotions from what I'm seeing right here. But I honestly just think it's because of the fact that I realize how the stock market works. I realize that it's very likely that Tesla grows tremendously in the future. So really a lot of that confidence in separating the emotions from the market is mostly just based on doing your research, making sure that you've done your research enough to be confident in the stock long term. And so it's all about conviction, faith in the company, and confidence, and then also just separating the emotions and the stress that normally would come with people losing money in the stock market, like with a day like today. So I think embracing that mindset is actually really beneficial if you're an investor that wants to be in it for the long term and wants to avoid panic selling. So I'm really happy that I've been able to avoid those unproductive thoughts about stressing out the day-to-day movements like today. So like I said, I can always get excited about the green days and really be hyped about that, but also when there's red days like today, I just take on a different approach and I look at this as an opportunity. And honestly, positive thinking applies to many things in life, even aside from investing. So it just makes a difference in my opinion. And just addressing the idea of whether we could see a pullback sometime soon even more for Tesla. Now, short term is very hard to predict, especially as we have so many possible events coming up in September. As we know, we have Battery Investor Day on September 22nd, and then we also have the idea of possible S&P 500 inclusion sometime this month. We don't really have a guaranteed date for that yet. It's just a matter of when it actually happens, so it's pretty difficult to predict what we could see out of this stock over the next month. I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to see a pullback over this next month just a little bit, but like I said, there's also events that could potentially skyrocket this stock as well, like S&P 500 inclusion, like with Battery Day. Now keep in mind, with Battery Day, we have had events in the past that really haven't changed the stock price significantly, like with Tesla Autonomy Day. Don't quote me 100% on that, but I don't think there was like a huge reaction with the stock market with Tesla Autonomy Day, and it started to get factored in more later on when people started to realize the possibilities of the information that they gave on Autonomy Day. So I think there is that possibility with Battery Day sometime this month. There is a possibility that we might not see a significant movement out of that, just comparing to events in the past and things like that. However, However, if you have some things announced like the Plaid Model S and some really significant news within there that people can just look at face value and realize how big that is, then that could be a potential stock mover. However, if it's other things that require a little bit of thinking or looking into to see the potential out of information like that, such as how we saw with Autonomy Day, then it is possible that there might not be as big of a reaction that people are expecting, because keep in mind, like with yesterday, we actually had a negative reaction to Tesla raising $5 billion in capital by offering more shares. And so the market reacted negatively to that, whereas I thought that was a fantastic thing. You have a lot of big investors as well thinking the same thing. And raising capital is really just going to make sure that Tesla scales even more in the future and widening that gap between them and the competition. So when you have information like that, it can be looked at as a negative thing at face value, but when you really start looking into it and what that actually means, then it's actually a good thing. So there are times when the market doesn't understand what some information means or what it can lead to in terms of benefits for the company. So just keep all of these things in mind. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more pullbacks for Tesla this month, but like I said, there are some big events possibly going on this month, like S&P 500 inclusion and then Battery Day as well, that could cause the stock price to grow. I think S&P 500 inclusion specifically is going to be one of those big movers for the stock when it does happen. However, we could have a pullback in the meantime up until Battery Day or up until S&P 500 inclusion if it happens before Battery Day. Just keep in mind though that with these pullbacks presents itself some opportunities for investors that have cash on the sidelines or just have some opportunity to sell some things and relocate some money to put into Tesla stock, like I will be doing as well likely. So anyways, I just wanted to share some of my perspectives on things going on right now. And then also just addressing today's return, we are at minus 7.48% or minus $10,122.13. And then for the total return, we are at plus 63.12% or plus $48,424.80. And then finally for Apple stock, we are at minus 1.92% for today. That's minus $433.44. And then for the total return, we are at plus 84.09% or plus $10,098.72. So regarding Apple, it hasn't actually had like a huge pullback like Tesla has had so far. And so it's still not too far off from the all-time high price tags for Apple. So that's actually pretty solid for Apple. But anyways, hope you all enjoyed this video. Please make sure to smash that like button if you did. And also feel free to sign up to Robinhood and Webull in the description below. If you sign up with my referral link, you'll get some free stocks, and especially with Webull right now, you can get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 if you sign up with my link and deposit $100 into your account. And you can also take that $100 right back out after you get your free stock. So it's basically just free money, free passive income. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.